Welcome to Sib Spot. Today's featured Reddit stories are from Am I the A-Hole? Story 1 is by Fancy Moonlight. Am I the a-hole for refusing to babysit my niece and nephew every weekend? I'm a 32 male and I love my sister Hannah, who's 35, and her kids, who are 5 male and 3 female. I've always been the fun uncle and happily agreed when Hannah asked me to babysit one Saturday so she and her husband, Jake, could go on a much-needed date. The kids were great and I didn't mind helping out. But the next weekend, they asked again. Then again, the next. What started off as one Saturday has now turned into me babysitting on both Saturday and Sunday every weekend. They drop the kids off at 9 a.m. and pick them up around 7 p.m. That's 2 full days of children. No pay, no food bought for the kids, no consideration for my time. I work full-time during the week, so my weekends are my only time to relax, hang out with friends, or get things done. I finally told Hannah I could not babysit one weekend because I had made plans with friends. She got upset, saying that I didn't understand how hard it was for her and Jake to maintain their relationship, and that their marriage was struggling. She implied that my refusal to help could make things worse between them, which made me feel really guilty. She said I was being selfish and that I should step up as a family member. I tried to compromise by offering to babysit once or twice a month, but Hannah said that wasn't good enough. She said since I don't have kids, I don't understand the stress they're under, and they need this time for the relationship to survive. Now, both Hannah and Jake are upset with me, and even my parents are weighing in, saying I should just help out for the sake of the family. The thing is, I do want to help, but I feel like my time is being taken for granted. I love my niece and nephew, but I need my weekends back too. I never agreed to be their full-time nanny, and I'm starting to feel burned out from constantly giving up my plans. I'm torn because I understand they need a break, but I also feel like it's unfair to expect me to give my entire weekend every weekend indefinitely. Am I the a-hole for refusing to babysit every weekend and wanting to set boundaries with my sister? 1,000,000 times, no, you are not the a-hole. It's unreasonable of her. What are they even doing as parents? These kids probably go to school every day from 7 a.m. till 3. Then they have them for a couple hours in the afternoon and evening. And then they dump their kids on you from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. on the weekends? Show your sister this post. If you're not already saying this exactly verbally to her, you should show her this post and say, this is how I feel. And no, I will not be babysitting your kids from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday every single week. You two chose to be parents. Just because I don't have kids doesn't mean I'm free to take care of yours. You don't have to say things kindly if somebody's being unreasonable. It's better to say things in a nice way so you avoid family drama, but I would use much stronger language here than you are at all. Like, no, I agreed to babysit them one Saturday, not every Saturday, then turning into every Sunday all day long. I don't care about your relationship. If your kids are causing you so much stress that having them at home is going to ruin your marriage if I don't babysit for you, that's a you thing. You should have thought about that before having kids. You guys better earn some money. Get a babysitter for the weekend. I'm not your personal nanny. Our next story is by Status Pokerface. Am I the a-hole? I told him I would never again bake him something. My husband is lactose intolerant, but he likes banana cake. For his birthday, I baked a 2-layer banana cake and made the recipe of a vegan frosting and a vegan toffee sauce that was really good. We were going to sing the usual happy birthday song, and he stood up and was walking over to the cake table while I was saying that I had baked a banana cake for him with vegan frosting and sauce. His answer, in front of everyone, was that he didn't know why I had baked him some cake if I already knew he didn't like them because he has not eaten in so many years that he doesn't even like it anymore. I felt hurt and didn't say a thing there. I thought that he would appreciate me baking a cake for his birthday because that's what his mom used to do when he was a kid, and he always made a comment about me not baking the kids' cakes. Every time I go to the local bakery, I get him a banana cake and he eats it and says how much he likes it. The rest of the celebration, I was trying to act normal, but he noticed, and when everyone left, he asked if I was okay. I said I was never going to bake him something. His answer was thank you and that I was being unfair with him because I should have already known. Worst of all this was that my birthday is the same day as his, so I baked another cake for me because I wanted chocolate cake, but this is just venting. Am I the a-hole, Reddit? Another case where somebody knows they're not the a-hole and they're posting on here just to get confirmation that their significant other is the jerk in this case. Your husband's the jerk. If he didn't want this cake for some reason, he could have said something after the fact, please don't bake me anything in the future. He was just embarrassing you for some reason. It makes me think that you guys are having a fight about something else too, and that he used this to kind of put you down in a way in front of everybody. I'm sure your friends and guests that were there also picked up on the fact that he's a jerk. So maybe he should go around and apologize to people for putting you down, something that you put your love and care into on his birthday. He put that down in front of everyone. And it sounds honestly delicious to me. Toffee sauce? On top of the banana cake? Sounds like Bananas Foster, and I love that. Your husband is the jerk, and I feel like there's more going on here than we know about. Our next story is by Practical C 5669. Am I the a-hole for telling my friend that she is not my responsibility? I'm 21 female and I have a friend called Jessica who's 21. This is a fake name. When we were 16, Jessica got pregnant with her now ex-boyfriend's baby. Let's call her Nikki, who's a 4 female. We've been friends for a while and I've been supporting her since Nikki was born because her ex-boyfriend is a deadbeat. A few days ago, after a really bad date, around 2 a.m., she told me she just needed to chill at my place. I said sure, because the guy she met was a real creep. She brought Nikki, who was at her mother's, because she needed time with her baby and her soul sister, me. Even though her mom tried to prevent Jessica from taking Nikki to my place because Nikki was sound asleep and Jessica was drunk, so she had to buy an Uber. Jessica just took her kid and came to my place. I immediately started putting Nikki to sleep, but she kept being woken up because Jessica was sobbing and screaming about the date she was on. I tried calming her down, but she took out some vodka I had in my cupboard and began giving herself pure shots. In between trying to get her to stop drinking and trying to put Nikki to bed, I had to go to the bathroom. When I came back, Jessica had left a mug filled with vodka on my kitchen counter and was just making a wreck out of my living room. Throwing pillows, her phone, throwing up, it was a sight. While I cleaned her vomit, I turned around to see Nikki got up again and began tasting the vodka mug and began throwing up as well. Jessica sees this and began screaming at me, saying I should have moved the alcohol, saying that I was a bad friend, taking advantage of her, and making her look like a bad mother. At this point, it was around 5 a.m. I was exhausted, and that was my final straw. So I screamed that her and her daughter are not my responsibility, and she decided to keep the kid, and she cannot expect me to look after them. After a bit of back and forth, I kick her out. I call an Uber to take her back, but I also did not want Nikki going back without her mom because she was feeling ill and needed some rest. All our friends are calling me the a-hole because I kicked her out when she was drunk and vulnerable. So am I the a-hole? I'm going to give you a partial a-hole on this. Your last sentence in the second paragraph, which is a big paragraph, was unkind. She has this kid. It is not your fault that the kid took a drink out of the mug, but yeah, you're an a-hole for what you said at the end of the second paragraph. She is a bigger a-hole because she has a problem with alcoholism, and she brought her daughter over to your house from her mom's place where she was peacefully sleeping in a bed, and kids need sleep. It's 2 a.m. and she goes and drags her out of bed so that she can cry and whine and scream and moan about her date. She's absolutely the a-hole for doing all that, but yeah, you shouldn't have said what you said at the end of the second paragraph, and I'm not going to repeat it because it's a contentious issue in the U.S. Yes, she made her choice. She made her bed, now she has to lie in it. But she should not be disrupting everything at your house. The fact that she knew exactly where the alcohol in your house was, though, she went right into the cupboard and got it out, which tells me you guys have had drinks out of that cupboard before, otherwise she wouldn't know where it is. So you're not preventing the problem from happening. So you are partly at fault for this. But what a situation. That is awful. You want to support your friend, but also, nobody wants to be around somebody who's plastered drunk and acting irresponsibly. And then blaming you for what her daughter does. Stupid. Our last story today is by OKBody3480. Am I the a-hole for making my property inaccessible and cutting off a hiking trail? I live in a city with an amazing river valley trail system. I am lucky enough to have purchased a home a couple of decades ago that overlooks the river. 2 years ago, the bank below my property gave way and part of the trail became too dangerous for people to traverse. The city put up a barrier and there's a detour up to my neighborhood and then back down to the valley, maybe a quarter of a mile down the way. However, my backyard can also be used to continue your walk. I got so many people walking through that I got concerned because of liability, as you should, and they were littering on my property. I fenced off my yard, and now if you want to walk the trail, you have to take the detour. A few of my neighbors have talked to me about it, and one in particular thinks it's a jerk move to keep people from enjoying the trail. I have also been yelled at in my backyard by people who used to cut through, and the city has come by to check my property lines, but I did everything right. I don't think I'm the a-hole, but a few people have called me exactly that. Am I the a-hole? Nope. It's dangerous. People could have kept walking it, but it's dangerous, and they're littering on it. Quarter of a mile detour is a long detour to go around that, but it's not a big deal. If you're out for hiking, if you're out and you want to hike, why don't you take the quarter-mile detour? Because that's the point of hiking anyway, is to get some exercise. Get out into the sunlight. You're not in the wrong, and if you want, you could put up a sign there that says, "This has become dangerous. I'm not going to deal with liability on my property, and people were littering here. You have to go around." They're all going to think you're an a-hole, but they're wrong here. Our stories for today have come to a close. Until we meet again, have a pristine day.